Hello, guys. Now, before I say this, I don't think this is actually going to happen, and I don't think the US government can do much about this Bitcoin bull run. But it might be that they are targeting the Bitcoin bull run, specifically the price. Now, we all know how the government usually sell off by auction. But just as Bitcoin hits 60K, the United States government has moved 922 million of seized Bitcoin. They might be wanting to sell some of this off and make a profit from it because Bitcoin has almost gotten to the all-time high. Now, obviously, this is not really signal the top. Government sells these batches according to a certain time frame, and maybe this time frame has just actually come. But they can get a lot of money selling the Bitcoin right now. So basically, the U.S. government transferred 922 million worth of Bitcoin from two crypto wallets that held funds seized from Bitfinex in 2016. So it is a little bit weary that they waited for like 7-8 years to finally transfer these funds. But maybe they were just waiting for a really, really good moment, and they didn't really catch that pump a couple of years ago. Because remember, they've had this Bitcoin for 8 years now, basically. Now, this hasn't really affected the price any. I think the current volatility in the price is just kind of like shifting and trying to kind of like calm down and settle in a certain area right now. But they moved it in a couple of batches, one kind of a test batch, and then like they moved 172 million in one, they moved 748 million in another one, and only about $600 in another one. Not really sure why they made the $600 move. And of course, the government seized the funds for a 2016 Bitfinex that was hacked for approximately 119,754 BTC, worth over 7.4 billion at its current price. So they still have a lot to actually move at its current price, but maybe the US government wants to cool down the Bitcoin bull run a little bit. Not really sure why they might want to. And I don't think 922 million is really going to affect it, because if you look yesterday, we had 640 million worth of net inflows just in a day. So you might be able to damper it for like a day and a half, but that's not going to do all that much. However, $7.4 billion is actually enough to do some damage for several weeks. But they didn't move the entire 7.2 billion. They only moved 922 billion, so they're probably selling in batches. And 922 billion, I don't think will actually affect things. I think BlackRock and Fidelity will be more than happy to eat that Bitcoin up right now. They are very, very hungry for Bitcoin, and anything that gets sold on auction or OTC, I think will be like bought up by BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, etc. The transfers of the Bitcoin occurred a day after Laya Lichtenstein, a hacker who stole and launched over 4.5 billion worth of Bitcoin from the Bitfinex exchange, appeared in Washington court detailing how he pulled off one of the largest Bitcoin heists. So basically, this actually just might be an OTC move, more or less, where BlackRock and Fidelity has already bought the Bitcoins and the US government is just transferring it to them. Or it might be the government trying to relieve some of the stress buying from the Bitcoin market by directly selling to these big brokerages who demand Bitcoin. We really don't know, but the US government is starting to move large amounts of Bitcoin. They could have been already directly sold to the big ETFs. And that prevents them from buying off the exchange. That won't actually make the price go down, but it might let it not go up for a while. But I still think the overwhelming pressure will basically sweep over everything. In due time, probably another week or two. It might be like next week we hit the all-time high. It might be 2 weeks from now we hit the all-time high. But we're definitely going there. And I do think even without the ETFs, there's a lot of buying pressure just because retail, I think, is starting to actually come in. I'm sure altcoins will actually start to gain ground soon as well. So that's the thing with the government and try and maybe dampen the bull run. I also want to talk a little bit about Vechain. After I made the video about the announcement yesterday of the VDAO stuff, people were upset that it wasn't a coin burn. And I was a little bit confused by that, because some of you might think a coin burn is somehow a good idea, but a coin burn is an awful idea because most of Vechain is already out. That's one of the advantages. It can't really be diluted that much anymore. I think 80% or 75% of the coins are already out. So if you want a coin burn, let me ask you, whose coins are you going to burn? Because all the coins being out means it's in the hands of different holders like you. Are you going to donate your coins to be burned? That if you're not, then I think you should shut up about the coins being burned because no one else is going to donate their coins to be burned. The thing is, like, having a lot of the supply in escrow or not being out does give you the option of burning coins because those coins aren't in the hands of investors. So they can actually burn their own coins without pissing off everyone. If all the coins are already out, unless you're willing to donate your coins to burn, don't think about burning other people's coins. And burning coins in escrow doesn't actually really help the price. Remember, Stellar tried to pull that off about 2 years ago. Nothing happened. Like the price pumped like 10% and then went right back down. Because if you burn the coins in escrow, it doesn't physically affect the price since those coins are not in circulation. And you can't burn the coins in circulation because other people own them. The only way you can burn them is if you buy them back and burn them, but there's a plethora of reasons why you can't do that. Because one, most of these foundations don't actually make any money. Binance is an exception, but they're not a foundation. They're an actual big crypto exchange that makes billions of dollars per quarter, and they use those billions of dollars per quarter to buy certain BNB back and burn them. But most foundations don't have that. And plus, that would be a giant red flag for the SEC. You know why? Because one of the legs of the Howey test is like the company or organization can't be a major part or effort in raising the price of the coin. Obviously, if you use your profits to buy the coins back just to pump the price of the coin, that is a direct cause of the company causing the coin to go up, which would result in it being labeled a security. So you guys got to think about what you're doing. A coin combination is not the same thing as a coin burn where they do like 1,000 to 1 or 100 to 1 combination. That means, yes, the number of coins is reduced, but your coins are reduced along with it. Same thing with a coin split. The overall coins are increased, but your coins are increased as well. So basically, like, you're asking for something that can't happen because, first of all, like I said, most of Vechain coins are out. The only way they would be able to do a coin burn is a buyback, which would then get them labeled as a security. So it's not really a viable solution. In terms of the overall announcement, I'm actually okay with the announcement. I've been nagging at Vechain forever to try to develop their ecosystem, and this is a step to develop their ecosystem. So I'm not actually all that upset at what Vechain did. I actually think it's okay. There's probably 1 or 2 announcements more from Barcelona, and I don't think it'll directly affect the Vechain price, but this was always a buy the rumor, sell the news thing for Vechain Barcelona. We've been saying it all along. So we're just lucky that Bitcoin is actually going up right now. So that's pulling Vechain up as well, and that's allowing it not to retrace too much after the pump that we received 2 weeks ago, because otherwise we would actually be in a buy the rumor, sell the news moment. A lot of big analysts think that this wave of the ETF action isn't even the biggest wave of ETF action. So Bitwise CIO said like there's even going to be a bigger ETF wave in the next month. So basically like they're looking at Bitcoin ETFs to wealth clients. So wealth clients are obviously clients with higher net value. They can buy a lot more Bitcoin. If they start really buying the Bitcoin, sky's the limit, my friends. So spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds ETF could soon see an even bigger wave of institutional capital once the major wirehouses offer Bitcoin ETF trades, according to Bitwise. I think there's an even bigger wave coming in a few months as we start to see the major wirehouses turn on. And this is true because there's a lot of institutions that are wanting to get in on the Bitcoin ballgame, probably a lot of financial advisors that want to advise their clients to actually buy Bitcoin. So like what he's saying is the next wave of institutional capital coming will be even bigger than this wave. There is just way too much demand. And he's actually quoting Michael Saylor on his Twitter, quoting someone from CNBC. With Bitcoin right now, there is too much demand and not enough supply, Matt Hogan, CIO, Bitwise. And that's probably why the government might actually be stepping in with a $7 billion in Bitcoin. But guess what? That $7 billion, because everyone's demanding it, is going to get dried up pretty fast. They might have to pull out the entire Silk Road supply, and that still might not be enough. Of course, interestingly, two of the largest wirehouses, Bank of America's Merrill Lynch and Wells Fargo, has reportedly started offering spot Bitcoin ETFs to its wealth clients. And as soon as this comes in, everything comes in, the flood's really going to come in. Right now, it's only available to clients who request the products, but as word gets round, there's going to be more and more clients that request these products, and there's just no way to actually hide these products. And of course, they're saying that Bitcoin ETFs have triggered a new era of price discovery. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.